Hello. Welcome back to another D-Man the Defenders video. Um, I thought I would just make this quick video here. There is going to be a second parter to this video, sort of. Um, but this video is going to be talking on your equipment and your gear, and why you should focus on that more than anything else. Um, but yeah, in the second video that I'm going to release right after this is going to be like my current lineup and why I'm changing it, and why you might want to change yours too. Um, but anyways, the gear in the game is the most important thing. That's the biggest difference that you can make is getting the gear and the artifacts too. But later on, like late game, you really want to focus on your gear. Like, and by late game, I mean if you're for the what is this thing? For this thing here, right? If you're like at 330, I say you're sort of like in mid game, and below 330, you're like in the lower end. And if you're higher than 330, like 331 and above, you're like a little bit, well, I don't know. Maybe basically if you're like about 500k, like 450 and up. Actually, no. I'm just gonna go with what I first thought, the 330. But anyways, um, if you're below 330, you should always fuse all of your gear, like in the mechanic here. Like I don't want to do it again, so I've already had to remake this video like many times. But like if I go ahead and I take all of my gear off, right? I'll just do it one more time. Um, so if I go ahead and I remove all of my gear here, uh, except for Azora and Billy Kid, because they already have max Odin gear and it won't fuse anymore. So like if you go to the mechanic, do you see how I can fuse this scepter here? And then once I fuse this, or I can fuse this storm hammer to make a holy hammer, to then make one more Odin scepter. I'm not going to do that because then I'd rather have like the two hammers already, plus I'd rather have three people having the storm hammer. And then same with this too. Like I'd rather have four people having the holy hammer than only one person or two people having like you know what I mean, right? So if you pass 330, or you're at like 330 and above, you should like try to keep as many, like don't fuse, like try to keep, yeah, you guys know what I mean, right? Like, you know, same the boots, right? Like I'd rather have four people have this than only two people, right? One Odin and then one holy. Same the necklace as well. So the gear is what makes, like if you're stuck, it's, well, there's a lot of reasons going to be why, but it's not so much about getting the heroes. Like people focus too much on that, even though that is a very important, especially in the earlier game, like in like below 330 when you're just leveling up, you have to keep summoning and you have to keep progressing, right? But later on, it's like especially for the top end people, it's gear is what makes the difference. Like gear is what makes so and so better. Gear is going to be the reason why, like if you go to here, if you go to let's say if we scroll down, right, like gear is going to be why somebody's going to be stuck. Like, you know, this guy's like 3 something, and let's find a guy that's like this guy's 500 and something, right? Like this 500 and something, let's say right now if they were to fight, right, the guy that's going to win between just these two guys, right, like 22 and 23, like, and they're what, like almost 200k apart. Like, you know, they're like 100 and what, like 140,000 power difference, right? But most likely since this guy here, this judo guy, because he's stuck on 330 as well, most likely because his gear is what's allowing him to be there, because he's managed his gear and his gems better, right? So like he could most likely end up winning and beating this guy, and because the summons gives you a lot of points when you have like more summons and you have like more stars in the characters, but that doesn't mean anything. Like how what level you are in terms of power rating means absolutely nothing. It's about the gear and the gems that you have. Mostly gear, that's number one. And I don't really have any proof to like show you this like hard evidence besides like the Temple Wars just ended, right? And like I didn't film any of that. I mean like ridiculously busy. But you see how this guy here is five, like he only boosted to five, right? But like we both have 10 like 12 stars and whatnot, right? And his lineup's a little bit different, which is why I'm going to be talking about my lineup in the next video. But this guy here, right? You see how this SK guy, he came in third place overall. He ended up beating this guy, right? And he ended up winning. He almost beat me. Like when we fought, I was 10 out of 10 boosted and he was still zero. He didn't even boost once at all. And normally this guy always boosts to 10 out of 10, right? But now he's at the point where he doesn't even have to because his guys are so strong that it's ridiculous. Do you see how he's like 136k rated? Like, or 1.36 million? And I'm 1.33 million, right? So only a difference of like 30,000 or whatever the math is, right? Or 200k or something. Like I don't even know, right? But like the difference, if it was to be rated on gear, would be worlds apart. Like I don't know why it's not letting me scroll down, but yeah, like we would be so like it's not even close. Like he's more like 200 and like 200 2 million plus k rated just because of how much his gear is. I don't even know how to even show like where's the fight between me and him. Like the fight between me and him, right? Like I won, but or I like won two of them, but that's the only reason why. But keep in mind, guys, I was 10 out of 10 boosted, and he didn't even boost at all, and his is just gear because he has a lot of Odin gear and a lot of holy gear on his characters from top to bottom. Like everybody's geared out, right? And also has to do with like the lineup and like whatnot. I'm just gonna keep it. I'm just gonna go to times 3 here. Actually, somebody might want to see this, but I have no actual like other way of like explaining, but I've known this for a very long time. It comes to the gear, but unfortunately, when it comes to buying stuff in this game, the worst thing you could spend your money on is buying gear because of like it costs so much just to buy something that it's not really that worth it compared to what else you could buy and what else you could get for that same amount of money, right? But I promise you the second video will be a lot more interesting. I'm just waiting for this to end just so I can sort of like move on here. But it doesn't really matter whether or not if you have like a 10 star, an 8 star, like a 6 star. A lot of people want to get dupes of a character and they want to level up. Like they want to get ears, their ears leveled up, the harmonia, all this kind of stuff, right? But it doesn't matter if your guy is sitting at 10 star and he has like no like not great gear on him, right? Like no Odin gear or no holy gear on him, or even like the storm gear, right? Like you need to have top end gear, especially for harmonia. Harmonia needs like minimum holy, like the second last, like like not the Odin gear. Well, obviously she needs Odin gear, but like minimum has to have the see, look, he still has his second ear is completely untouched, right? So he still had 2 ears left, like for me to fight when I lost that one, and then the other 2 I ended up winning. And even though I won, I'm pretty sure like I won just by like whatever that expression is, like the skin of the teeth, or like I don't even know. And then I end up losing to this guy here that he only boosted this at last minute. He went through the whole tournament only being like 2 out of 3 or 3 out of like 2 out of 10 or 3 out of 10 or something like that. Then for our last match, he boosted, right? But I'm pretty sure even if he didn't boost, I still would have lost him anyways, just simply because of the gear that's on people. So for something like this here, like don't buy this thing here. This is a complete waste. And a lot of you won't even see this, and I'm glad, but it is a complete garbage. And I can go into more why it is, but you just sort of have to take my word on it. And if you were gonna spend money too, uh, like just by doing simple math, like you should buy this one here, because you notice like when like the wheel comes along, like when the wheel of fortune is around, I get 10 or like 5,000 plus 5,000 diamond, right? So if you buy, you get 10k diamond. And then if you look at the monthly, if you go to your monthly specials, you can buy this in here. You can buy one, right? And you get 20 of them, right? So if you spend 200 bucks, you get 20, like you get 20 of like these tree do things, and you get 10k diamond, right? But if you buy this in here, if you buy two of them, you still get the 10k diamond, but now you have 30 of these tree do things, right? So just by doing simple math, that's why this is not a good deal at all, because it's only like the 2 star. But if not this one, but if you do like whoops, I think it's like the weekly specials or something like that, or no, not the weekly special. It's like the super gift pack or something. This changes all the time, right? Because sometimes the gear is on this one. It's on the one that's like $49.99. So, but you still get diamond, and that's not really what this video is about. But just trust me on that. It's a waste of your money, and yeah. But basically, focus on like the gear, and don't always fuse your gear. Don't like unless you're under 330. If I was still stuck, like if I was like, you know, still going up to 330 in the Hellas Abyss, I would 100% fuse this to get the holy armor, and then fuse it to get the scepter, to get the same of the boots. I would get the Odin boots, because one person can carry you through all the way, when it comes to the Hellas Abyss. And even one person can even get you past 330, by the way, too. One person. For me, I was stuck when I was using Thor, and then I changed over to Azora, and actually no, that's a lie. I was stuck with Thor, and I changed it over to Valkyrie because I saw other people do that. Raccoon, I don't know where he's at anymore. I saw this guy. He was the first guy to get past 330. He went to 331 first. Raccoon. I saw him change over from Thor to Valkyrie, and then I did the same thing too. And Valkyrie carried me past 330, and then I got stuck. I think I like three something, like 343 or 350. Then I changed over from Valkyrie to Azora, and then he carried me through. Until 378, which only Ares can get you past that one, I believe. Ares or Ramesses too. But anyways, sorry I don't have like much proof on the thing, but just don't worry so much about buying, like especially if you're going to be spending money. Don't worry so much about buying stuff, like about buying summons or by like you need to buy gear, and the way you get the gear is like, especially with this stuff here, right? Like don't spend your whatever these things are called, these little token things, right? What are they called? The ancient relic. Like unless you're still leveling up, like unless you're still under 330. But if you're above 330 for the Hellas Abyss, do not spend your ancient relics on these on these things, right? Only on gear. That's it. Don't even spend it on the weapons here. Only on gear. That's it. Because you cannot have too many. And the people that start now, like if you happen to watch this video and you're like on a new server, like I'm on server 45 here, but if you happen to be on server like 246 and like and on like 247, 248, whenever you watch this, whatever server you happen to land on, remember the first two wheels, like your first time of getting, like, I can't even show you so you guys don't know, but it's something called the Wheel of Fortune, and it pops up and like you can click on it, like it comes beside this thing here, and you spin this wheel, and it's like gambling, right? That's the only your first two wheels, like the first 3 weeks that you play the game, because it'll be wheel, like heroic summons, and then back to wheel again. Only those two wheels you will see that has gear on it. That's the time to spend like a ridiculous amount of money if you were going to spend, because that's what I would have done. I wish that's what a lot of people did. I think that's how they have all Odin gear by now, because otherwise I don't see how, like, I don't see how you can. um, but anyways, I've gone on long enough. But just know that gear is the most important thing. Then the second most important thing is gems, and then it comes to gems and artifacts, and then it comes to um, what, like, 10 star and all that kind of jazz, and like 12 star and all that kind of stuff. But I'll make the second video, which will be a lot more interesting on like the lineup and stuff like that. I'm not even sure if this video even helped anybody out. But anyways, guys, thank you so much. Thank you so much for watching. And once again, I'm really sorry about not posting lately. Anyways, I'll see you in the next video. Thank you.